climate champions. Welcome to the Climate Network with me, Deepsha Dhal. Today we are at the Earth Again movement, and I'm excited to introduce to you one of the youngest and most inspiring environmentalists, Prasiddhi Singh. At just 11 years old, Prasiddhi has already made an incredible impact as the founder of the Prasiddhi Forest Foundation, a movement focused on creating mini forests and planting trees across India. Her journey started with a passion for nature and a mission to combat climate change by fostering greenery in local communities. She has not only planted lakhs of trees but has also empowered other young people to take action for the planet. She's a true example of how one person, regardless of age, can make a profound impact on the environment. In today's conversation, we dive into her journey as a young eco-warrior, the work of her foundation, and how she's been inspiring others to join the green movement. Welcome, Prasiddhi.
I'm so happy to be over here, and greetings, namaste and vanakkam to the audience.
Thank you. Let us begin with your journey. How did a 4-year-old decide to be a climate warrior?
Well, for me, in my case, I have always been a nature lover. From a very young age. I'm still young, but I have always been really inspired from nature. I have had my own observations. For instance, I learned from trees never to give up, because whenever you cut a tree or trim a tree down, it again tries to grow. It regrows. It taught me the spirit of never giving up. Or else, for instance, I learned how to collaborate. Because when a bee pollinates a flower and a flower gives nectar to the bee, it's collaboration. I learned the idea of partnership. Or I learned about how to celebrate, because either it's low tide or high tide, seas are always celebrating. So trees, bees, seas, and so many other things in nature, be it the sun that taught me the idea of discipline. I have always been really inspired. But then at the age of 4, in 2016, so I belong to Tamil Nadu, that is a coastal state. And in Tamil Nadu, I live in Chengalpattu, that is right on the border of our seas. And when 2016 Vada cyclone occurred, I was disheartened, because just imagine a 4-year-old experiencing all this and treating trees like my friends. When I saw its impact, I realized that I want to do something beyond just being sad about it. Because I've had this bond with nature, but when I saw the impact, trees getting uprooted, road flooded, thunder flickering, birds, squirrels, monkeys, whom I've always admired, running, flying, and jumping for shelter, I decided I wanted to take real time action, and I started participating in multiple tree plantation drives for 2 good years. So, from the age of 4 to the age of 6, and in this duration, for instance, I connected with experts, foundations, NGOs, learned from them. Even connected the traditional techniques, connected and learned from the gardeners and farmers on ground, and did it myself. And I understood about the importance of indigenous tree plantation, that is, native species tree plantation. Because planting invasive species, hybrid species, can cause a lot of damage to the soil and the ecosystem. I learned about not doing monoculture, that is, planting trees, same type of trees all together. I learned about the importance of how it is vital to look after the plant, the idea of creating nurseries, soil testing. And then at the age of 6, after understanding, I created Prasiddhi Forest Foundation, which is now a registered United Nations accredited NGO. And in that, it all started with me going to different places and starting my journey of doing tree plantation in villages and panchayats and schools, different corporate lands, public places, trust lands. And apart from that, for that matter, I also have built an ecosystem now, an entire system for doing these various projects across India, not just Tamil Nadu. And I've planted in more than 105 different locations. And now I've planted 150,000 trees.
How important is community collaboration in this process?
So, community collaboration is actually pretty vital, because, see, the idea of my work is not just to plant the trees, it is to be able to build a cultural shift, and be able to incorporate sustainability. The reality is that you don't need to bring something new, because it's always been there. Somehow it's just going back to our culture, but integrating it into the tradition is what is much required. So I use the approach where with farmers who reach out to me, because now I have a network across the grassroots level, I do tree plantation with them, of course. Apart from that, I am also the child ambassador for Green Tamil Nadu Mission, the flagship mission of our Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. And in that, in more than 200 plus rural schools of Tamil Nadu, I'm creating green brigades in which I plant a tree on behalf of, I give a free fruit tree to each and every child, a sapling, as well as do native tree plantation in their school and provide climate literacy workshop sessions, spreading climate awareness. And this that I started, this supports the future generation, because one is the farmers, one is the future generation who can take forward this idea of sustainability. And I'm also in direct touch with the local authorities in order to be able to build that administrative difference. So, for instance, from the ministers to the district collector, block development officer, revenue inspector, tehsildar, panchayat president, panchayat secretary, everybody, so that I can build this entire system. And this shows how vital community building is in order to be able to bring a mass scale impact. And while communities may look small on a global level, the difference also needs to be built one community at a time.
True. You spoke about working with the government, the policymakers, local farmers. What kind of problems do you come across? What kind of resistance do you meet in your journey?
So let me actually tell you a little bit about how we do the tree plantation process.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect, yes.
So what happens is that it all starts with me. I'll actually tell you how it all started, because when I started decided that I wanted to do this at the
Okay, so tell us about the first tree you planted.
well, the first tree that I planted, it's actually interesting. It was a seed, and I was only 1.5 or 2 years old. I was in nursery, and that time I saw something fall from the sky, and I was like, "What is this? Is it a gift from the angel, a gift from the tree, a present from the sky, something magical?" And I quickly picked it up and kept it in my pocket, and I was all hustled up during snacks. And then when my parents came, I quickly went in my parents' lap and I asked them, "What is this?" So they told me it's a magical pod, and that we'll reveal the magic when we go back home. So we went, we took a pot, put some soil, planted that magical pod, and the next I couldn't sleep the whole night. The next day I went, nothing happened. And I was very sad. And but then my mom told that if you want to see this magic, you need to have patience. So I waited a week, not able to sleep every single night, and finally a green shoot came. And that was like the happiest moment of my life. The time I actually saw and got connected with nature. So now coming back to the previous question about trees, it's actually been this bond with that green shoot that got me really connected to the power of trees and saplings. So what happens is that when I first started, just imagine a 6-year-old girl going to different villages, going to different government officials and farmers and telling them that, hey, I want to do a tree plantation, that to a fruit tree plantation. Now, what would their reply be? Very mixed, right? And most of them really appreciated my work, but there wasn't much of a turn up. And after convincing everyone for a long time, finally, one person agreed, and trust me, that was and still is the happiest day of my life when my mission, my work actually started off. So then I identified the land. We did started off with, but then I realized how important funds is, because there's soil testing. There's bringing the people who will do the tree plantation. I mean the gardeners who will support me, annas and akkas. Then there is the idea of procuring the saplings, all the preparation that needs to be done for a plantation drive, and that requires a lot of funds. And I didn't have that, so I decided that I wanted to do fundraising. I started doing it online. I started going to different events. Wherever I got an opportunity, I shared about my work. I said that I'm creating fruit forest, support my initiative. I started creating these bookmarks for books with eco quotes written on them so that I can raise funds, giving different grow kits and paper pencils. I still do it. In fact, I recently started a new initiative called Art for Nature because I'm so fond of paintings. I started creating paintings based on nature to spread awareness and also collect funds. So I started collecting, but still I could not raise funds just for a plantation of 500 trees. Imagine how am I going to plant 1 lakh trees, the target that I took. And I was pretty sad. But then I went back to the concept of never give up that I learned from trees. And I listed down where are most of my funds going, and then I said it's going in sapling procuring. So I said, why can't I start my own nursery? Because after all, I want to plant fruit trees. The idea of planting fruit trees came because, have you ever seen any bird or squirrel swiping their credit card in the grocery store for fruits? You have?
No.
No, we have not. Until it's edited, of course. So, no, because they depend on fruit trees, native fruit trees. And I said we are all planting regular trees, but what about my bird, squirrel, biodiversity friends? And I started doing that. So I said I can build my own nursery. I connected with a couple of friends. I created my own eco army. And I went door to door to collect fruit seeds. I said I'll come every weekend, eat the fruits, save the seeds, dry them, and give it to us. And in a small community space, I started my first nursery, created the saplings, let them grow, and then I did my plantation. So the pit preparation, the process, and it happened. The first plantation, slowly the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. It went on. I created my second nursery in a school. Now I've also built my third nursery that has a capacity of more than 30,000 saplings that I created by empowering various villagers and farmers. And I supported the entire family. They have a livelihood now, and it supports me in running my entire tree plantation drive process.
That is amazing. You're not only creating ecologies, you're also helping farmers and their livelihoods. You're also helping the economy. Now, how important is education and the tools of education in this process?
So let me actually go back a little bit on what you said about ecology and economy because it's actually connected to education. I'm sure we all know about SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, which are there, the 17 SDGs for 2030. In that, I was the youth keynote speaker in the United Nations Climate Change Conference alongside a United Nations General Assembly President in the inauguration of United Nations Department for Economic and Social Affairs Pavilion. And over there, I said that how everything is actually interconnected because I personally experienced that. I went to plant trees that was focused on SDG number 13, climate action, and SDG number 15, life on land. But I didn't realize I even went into SDG 3, that is focused on good health and well being, because I started doing yoga sessions, and tree plantation also supports the health of different people living around urban green spaces or general green spaces as well. Even in rural areas, I realized I'm also contributing to SDG number 1, no poverty, and SDG 2, zero hunger, by supporting farmers and doing agroforestry techniques, promoting better
Yes.
sustainable agriculture. Went into SDG number 5, that is gender equality, because I'm also the brand ambassador for Beti Bachao Beti Padhao for Tamil Nadu government. I also went into SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, because I am supporting, villagers, providing livelihoods. I did not realize how many aspects I am covering. I even went into SDG 14, that is life below water, because I live in a coastal state myself, where I promote, beach cleanups and different lake restoration activities. So technically, all these 17 SDGs are interconnected in one way or the other. And now we are also moving towards SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, in terms of solar panels and windmills to promote renewable energy solutions. So everything is interconnected, and somehow I'm trying with one focus to heal our earth and achieve these sustainable development goals. I am now working on various different aspects. Now, focusing a little bit more on education, I have my second organization, the Green Pillar, which I founded after Prasiddhi Forest Foundation. that is focused on providing climate literacy courses. So, for instance, we have a course called the Climate Literacy Master Course that is focused on the fundamentals of environment, sustainability, and climate solutions, in which we created with the ocean biologists, innovation experts,
Wow.
sustainability. I'll say people who've been there in this field, sustainability legends who've been associated with this for a very long time now. And through that, I've built this course that I'm giving to different schools and colleges. And if someone is listening, you can definitely go to www.thegreenpillar.com, reach out to us, and we can help with the provision of this course to all the students of your school. We have a new course coming up called Environment Social Governance, ESG, built with an ESG expert for professionals and corporates, that we've been giving to various different people, because I think that there are two things important: action and awareness. Action I'm doing through Prasiddhi Forest Foundation, with agroforestry, lake restoration, mangrove plantation, tree plantation, and awareness I'm doing through the Green Pillar by promoting climate education.
That is amazing. I can't believe I'm talking to an 11-year-old. You've achieved what people take a lifetime to do, and your ideas are also well formed. It's not as if I want to plant a tree and you just go plant a tree. There is a thought out idea behind it, there's a sciences behind it, there is community, collaboration behind it.
No, because the truth is, we all think that, planting a tree is so simple, it can't make a difference. But
True.
why do you want to complicate things? Nature is simple, the problem is simple, so the solution has to be simple too. We know that glaciers are melting, we know that climate change is taking place, global warming is taking place, and I think every child to an adult, everybody knows that trees are a solution. So why don't we go plant trees just because it's a very simple solution? I think we don't need something new. While technology definitely will play a vital role, I'm not ignoring that. And AI coming up is also going to play a vital role in climate technology, is a blockchain, a Web3. But if we have simple solutions, why don't we do it? Because
That's
they
true.
are key.
What message would you have for somebody who's just starting out?
I would like to say that, see, there is no one way to do it. There aren't many. It's not like a particular, I'll say, sheet written somewhere that this is your way, you can make a difference. No, just ask yourself, what am I passionate about, what am I good at, and ask yourself, how can I apply that exact thing to climate crisis, and do that. It's nothing more than that. Just do that. It can be through writing, it can be through planting, it can be through integrating. If you're a professional, try and integrate it in your company. Prasiddhi Forest, the Green Pillar, we are here to support you. And start your journey now, from your house to your corporate to your school to your community. Just try your best. And the idea is not about planting 100 trees, it is about planting even a single tree that can bring a difference. Look after it, care it, show love and gratitude towards it. I think another big thing, if you can't do all these various different steps or promote environment, just try and show gratitude. Smile at someone, appreciate someone, motivate someone, show gratitude towards people who are helping you or not as well. If they are sad, try and motivate them, make them feel happier, because there are people who are doing things, but because of some reason they have to stop. Don't let them, at least let them grow, because that one smile that you help a person have, that is much needed in today's anxious world. Anxiety, who thought that people not feeling good, people becoming anxious will become a world problem, but it has.
But anxiety is a real thing.
Yes, I don't think I need to tell anyone. So just try and show gratitude. It can make a huge difference, and the rest is nature is on your side. Take one step towards nature, and it'll come running 1,000 steps towards you.
That is amazing. So, where can we learn more about your work?
So you can definitely follow me on social media. You can follow the Green Pillar or Prasiddhi Forest, or I suggest my personal page where I promote a lot about sustainability, and I have built my own community. So I am on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. LinkedIn and Instagram are what I am known for, my climate influencing activities. So you can follow me on @prasiddhi.official, PRASIDDHI .official on Instagram, and Prasiddhi Singh on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Prasidhi.
Thank you so much.